When we think about AI getting smarter, we usually imagine it just getting faster, right? More processing power. But what if the real breakthrough comes from making it, well, messier, a little more human? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical concept called polylogical reasoning. And believe me, it could totally change how we build intelligent machines.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Our minds are constantly jumping between pure logic, our emotions, our gut feelings, all at the same time. We can hold completely contradictory ideas in our head at once, and somehow it just works. It's definitely messy, but that mess is also kind of our superpower. And this paradox, it's exactly what this new model of AI reasoning is trying to figure out.
All right, but before we can really get the new stuff, we've got to understand the old way of doing things. Most AI today is kind of stuck in what you could call the classical logic trap. The super rigid world of binary thinking.
For decades, computer logic has played by one simple rule. Everything has to be either true or false, a 1 or a 0, a yes or a no. There is absolutely no room for maybe. It's a very clean, very precise world, but it's not really the world we live in, is it?
And that, right there, is the fundamental difference. On one side, you've got the rigid, straight-line certainty of a computer circuit, and on the other, you've got the fluid, parallel, and, let's be honest, often uncertain nature of our own minds. This huge gap is exactly what polylogical reasoning is trying to build a bridge across.
So if traditional AI is just too rigid, what can we learn from how we think? Well, the answer seems to lie in embracing the one thing that computers are basically designed to avoid: ambiguity.
The key idea to wrap your head around here is something called structured indeterminacy. Now, it sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. It's just the ability to hold multiple possible outcomes in your head at the same time without having to pick one right away. For us humans, this isn't some flaw in the system. It's a core feature of how we deal with a really complex world.
Think about a simple question like, is this action okay? A purely rule-based system might just say, yep, it's allowed. A system focused only on consequences might say, nope, bad idea. An empathetic view might say, well, it depends. Our brains don't crash when faced with this. We just hold all three possibilities at once and weigh them.
Okay, so we've got the stiff logic of computers and the flexible, ambiguous thinking of humans. How in the world do you merge those two? Well, this is where things get really, really cool, with an idea that's inspired by quantum physics: reasoning in superposition.
So, instead of forcing an AI to choose just one logical path, either the rules or the consequences or empathy, this new model suggests an AI that explores all of them at the exact same time in parallel. They all exist together in this single combined state of reasoning. The paper itself puts it perfectly. It says, logical plurality is internalized as a single coherent quantum-like state. What does that mean in plain English? It means these different ways of thinking aren't in separate little boxes, they're all woven together into one single complex fabric. So just imagine an AI facing a problem. It doesn't just pick one tool from its toolbox, like, say, using only the rules or only the data. Instead, it holds all of its tools at once, and it lets them influence and interact with each other in this balanced state. It's a lot like how we do it when we're trying to weigh different points of view. Now, if an AI is thinking with all these logics at once, that completely changes the goal of what it's trying to do. It's not about finding a single right answer anymore. And that leads to this amazing new concept, truth as interference. This is a massive shift in thinking. In this model, the whole point isn't to land on a final true or a final false. Instead, the AI is looking to see which conclusions stay stable and strong after all these different logics have pushed and pulled on them.
And this is fundamentally different from older approaches. An ensemble of logics was kind of like a committee meeting where everyone casts a vote, separate systems giving separate answers. This new polylogic model, though, is more like waves in a pond. The logics actually interact with each other. And get this, when they contradict, they don't just get outvoted, they actively cancel each other out.
So here's how that interference idea works. When different logical paths all agree on a conclusion, you get what's called constructive interference. The idea gets stronger, it's amplified. But when they disagree, you get destructive interference. And that idea gets weaker, it's suppressed, and it eventually just fades away.
What this all means is that truth is no longer just a simple on or off switch. It becomes, well, geometric. It's this complex, multidimensional shape that shows you how strong and robust an idea is when you look at it from every single possible angle.
So where is all this heading? What's the end game? Well, we're talking about something that goes way, way beyond simple calculation. We're now talking about the potential for a truly creative thinking AI.
So what have we actually built here? We've got an AI that models the process of thinking, not just the final answer. It's an AI that finds stable conclusions, not just correct ones. And maybe, just maybe, we've stumbled upon a formal, mathematical blueprint for how creativity and discovery actually work.
Because really, where does creativity come from? This model suggests it pops up at the boundaries, right where different ways of thinking clash and rub up against each other. It's in that friction that brand new, stable ideas can actually form. Ideas that you could never have come up with by sticking to just one logical path. It's like a model for that aha moment.
And that leaves us with one final, really powerful thought to chew on. If thinking is truly the art of holding incompatible ideas together until some new meaning emerges, then what in the world could an AI that has finally mastered that art discover for all of us?